Well, hello everyone and welcome to Momentum channel. My name is Mo, and in this video, I'm super excited to have with us a successful young entrepreneur, David, who's accepted my invite. Welcome to the show, David.
Nice to be here. Well, my pleasure. I like to describe myself as a serial entrepreneur. It's been a couple of years now, but I basically have a marketing background at a marketing firm. And what we do is we invest or buy out businesses which we think have a lot of potential for growth with just kind of the right marketing tools applied to them. And then we grow them and we either position to be sold or we hang on to them for as long as we're happy working with them. So when I was younger, probably about 13 or 14, our family was really, really poor. And I really liked playing video games. So I just needed to find a way to be able to get to play video games. And this was way back in like the 1990s. I went to my English teacher and I said to her, I'm like, hey, I want to see if I can get these video game companies to let me review their products. What should I do? Probably for 3 or 4 years, every single day, I would come home to 3 or 4 video games in my mailbox, and I eventually just had to start giving them away to my friends. While I was at one of these jobs, I just remember being there for 50 hours or 60 hours one week, and then the CEO saw me as she was leaving at 10:30 at night, and then I was 5 minutes late the next day, and they made a big deal about it. I just remember thinking like, this is not for me. I am not okay with putting in this many hours and this much of my effort to make someone else extremely wealthy when I know that I have the tools, the capacity, and passion to do it myself. So from there on out, I decided I was going to do my own thing. But then when I was about 25, I got the brilliant idea that, you know what, I want some bigger ownership stakes. So I started approaching local companies, again, like that were well positioned for growth. And in exchange for my services as their marketing director, I'd asked for shares instead of getting paid a salary. So I've been lucky to be involved with some really exciting companies. Capital Vision Care is a big optometry chain here in Edmonton. And I was with them when they were at 3 locations. And in the last 5 years, we've grown them to 6 locations. And then I eventually bought Happy Veggie World, which is our vegan food company. And that vegan food company eventually grew and we had a need for transportation. So we bought out a transportation company called Cavalli. So there's just been a lot of organic growth. But again, the same business principles have been applied to each of those businesses, and we've just been taking it from there. I think the key to my success has been really being completely honest with myself and getting a really good sense of what my true weaknesses are and what my strengths are, and then playing those up or filling in the gaps. The best moment I've ever had as an entrepreneur was at Happy Veggie World when we became profitable enough to be able to offer our employees benefits. I just thought it was such a cool feeling to know that you were having such a positive impact on people's lives, and being able to help them, get their basic needs taken care of above and beyond kind of what their salary would do. And we were eating at a restaurant called Padmanati's, and I was just eating the food. And I was like, what is this? This tastes like real meat. It's so good. And I needed to find out where it was from. So I did. And I found out it was Happy Veggie World, which was this amazing little company that was started by this Asian couple who worked at a Buddhist temple, and all they ever wanted was to be able to provide vegetarian food for their community. So they were doing literally $100,000 of revenue for 20 years with this amazing product. They had no idea what they had on their hands. So I offered to partner with them, and they were just like, you know what, we're ready to retire. Why don't you just take the company? So I said, absolutely. And we grew that business from that $100,000 per year within the first year to $2 million. And then it's just been growing exponentially ever since then. And like I said, the rest of our businesses have just been organic extensions of the other businesses that we have. So we have, for example, glasses kiosks in shopping malls. And then we have a transportation company. And then we have a freezer storage company. So they've all just been kind of organically added to our portfolio. So, but of course, if there's anything that comes our way, we're always open to looking at it. There was always this vision of what it meant to have financial freedom. You know, that you're going to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want. And that was a really big part of the reason why I wanted to become an entrepreneur. But I think more recently, especially with this last year with the pandemic, there's been a huge shift, and within myself personally, a focus on my mental health and what that means for my day-to-day. You know, like having a lot of freedom is great, but it also comes with a lack of structure sometimes. And you can kind of find yourself languishing day to day, and everything kind of just starts feeling the same. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I run every day. So when I'm doing my runs or when I'm driving, I listen to audiobooks. So I'm constantly listening to whatever is new and recommended to me. Right now, I'm listening to How I Built This and A Promised Land by the book by Obama. So I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. But as far as my actual career path goes, I'm completely happy with it, because even in the crappy jobs that I've had along the way, I've learned a lot of lessons that I've been able to apply to my own businesses. So
that's the right attitude.
Whether it's things like what makes a good manager, but also things that you know, make a bad manager, you know, so I make sure that I don't do the things that I didn't like having done to me. And I think that's translated really well to how our operations are run. I worked with a micromanaging manager once before, and I promised myself that I would never do that to somebody else. And I think honestly, a lot of our success has been that me putting trust in the people around me and not thinking that I'm the smartest person in the room. And sometimes when they give me advice that goes against what I believed in, I'll let them go with it. And often it's turned out way better for me and for the people around me. Just be really honest with yourself about what type of entrepreneur you're going to be. I think there is a lot of messaging out there that says you have to do things a certain way in order to be successful. But the truth is that certain way isn't going to work for everyone. You know, like you might be introverted, you know, people say, oh, you have to be extroverted to be a successful entrepreneur. That's not necessarily the case. You don't need to get up at a certain time every single day. You just got to be honest with it and make sure that you are playing to your strengths and then filling in your weaknesses. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. And I say would be the most important thing that I've learned through my entrepreneurship journey.